In this podcast episode, host JJ Redick welcomes best-selling author and economist Emily Oster to discuss a data-driven approach to parenting that challenges many common myths and reduces anxiety. Drawing on her books, Expecting Better and Crib Sheet, Emily explores the overwhelming amount of parenting advice, the difficulty of distinguishing correlation from causation in the research, and offers practical perspectives on pregnancy, fertility, child rearing, and more. Their conversation addresses widespread concerns about nutrition, substances, exercise, sleep, vaccines, screen time, and the pressures parents face, all while emphasizing the complexity of parenting choices and the value of thoughtful, individualized decision-making. Emily dives into common myths surrounding pregnancy, dispelling fears about moderate alcohol and caffeine consumption by referencing studies showing little to no harm from occasional wine or coffee intake in pregnancy. She challenges the prohibition on sushi, explaining that the real risk is foodborne illness, which applies regardless of pregnancy status. Concerns about Botox are addressed with reassurance that while no evidence points to harm, most providers simply avoid administering it during pregnancy. It is considered safe during breastfeeding. Similarly, certain medications like retinol creams show no significant risk despite precautionary advice, whereas oral Accutane remains a confirmed danger. Emily contends that many fears around everyday exposures are overblown, with no mechanistic basis or substantial data showing negative effects, allowing pregnant individuals to focus on truly important factors. One key highlight is the acknowledgement that the ability to conceive is less controllable than commonly believed. Emily urges couples to focus on practical, evidence-backed steps such as tracking ovulation cycles and timing intercourse accordingly, while emphasizing the often neglected importance of male fertility factors like sperm quality. Harmful influences including smoking, excessive alcohol, and heat exposure to testes are discussed as modifiable factors for men. She warns against marketing tricks, encouraging expensive prenatal vitamins or supplements, reassuring that basic, affordable prenatal vitamins suffice. Overall, she frames conception as partly a dice roll with limited interventions available, encouraging couples to direct their energy where it has the most impact while managing expectations. Emily stresses the disproportionate anxiety parents feel about relatively trivial choices, such as food restrictions or exercising during pregnancy. Scientific evidence reveals many commonly believed limits, like avoiding all exercise or obsessing over dietary minutiae, are unwarranted, with exceptions mainly for heavy drinking or smoking. Instead, she advocates for parents to prepare for major life changes, particularly strengthening the partnership and communication within the family unit before the baby arrives. Emily describes parenting as a demanding group project, requiring clear planning, such as scheduling post-birth check-ins with partners to discuss challenges and expectations before exhaustion and stress take over. Mental well-being and relationship quality are essential building blocks for successful parenting. Addressing the breast is best narrative, Emily clarifies that while breastfeeding has some minor short-term health benefits like slightly lower gastrointestinal infections, many claims linking it to intelligence or lifelong health are based on correlation, not causation. Breastfeeding tends to correlate with socioeconomic factors, such as maternal education and income, which themselves influence child outcomes. Sibling comparisons show no significant cognitive advantages from breastfeeding alone. Emily also highlights the hidden costs of breastfeeding, chiefly in parental time and labor, counterbalancing formula's monetary expense. Her message encourages parents to make conscious feeding choices without undue guilt, emphasizing support over judgment. On sleep training, Emily explains that while there is no one-size-fits-all method or perfect age to start, evidence demonstrates it is generally safe and often beneficial for both child and parent sleep quality. She unpacks typical approaches that encourage independent sleep through structured routines and consistent boundaries, including controlled crying techniques. These help babies learn to self-soothe and connect sleep cycles, which enables longer stretches of rest. Contrasting co-sleeping and inconsistent routines, Emily points out that middle ground strategies are often the least sustainable. Consistency and parental readiness are crucial for successful sleep training, And while the idea of leaving babies to cry can be emotionally difficult, fears of long-term attachment problems are not supported by data. Emily critiques simplistic screen time guidelines, illustrating that much existing research conflates correlation with causation due to confounding socioeconomic variables. Younger children's screen exposure might displace valuable activities such as sleep or family interaction, but moderate use, like brief educational videos, likely causes no harm. The discussion extends to older children, where social media introduces more nuanced risks that are currently poorly understood due to the lack of longitudinal data and the rapidly evolving digital landscape. Emily recommends parental involvement akin to teaching responsible driving, monitoring, setting boundaries, and being prepared to intervene, rather than total bans or unregulated access. Emily strongly supports standard vaccination schedules, emphasizing their safety and effectiveness in preventing severe illnesses such as measles, which has seen resurgence due to declining immunization. She clarifies distinctions between hesitancy from COVID vaccine messaging and rejection of traditional childhood vaccines. She sees value in transparent conversations about vaccine prioritization while maintaining that all CDC-recommended vaccines are beneficial. On overmedication, particularly with ADHD medications, Emily recognizes increased prescription rates partly reflect school environment expectations and a mismatch between norms and natural child behavior. She calls for greater trust, nuance, and tailored approaches rather than blanket assumptions. Emily rejects polarizing labels like gentle parenting and helicopter parenting, observing that many evidence-based parenting approaches combine clear rules, consistent consequences, and supportive relationships. She appreciates techniques like the 1-2-3 magic method, which uses structured warnings and timeouts to encourage responsibility. For older children, she highlights the importance of availability and openness to communication, emphasizing modeling core values such as respect, follow-through, and pursuit of excellence. She also insists on honesty with children, even about topics like Santa Claus, to build trust. Throughout the episode, Emily acknowledges the pervasive stress and guilt parents experience from conflicting advice and social expectations. She encourages making thoughtful, individualized decisions with confidence rather than trying to follow every piece of data or appease external opinions. The tendency to overinterpret minor choices as destiny shaping is a major source of anxiety. Embracing the reality of imperfect control, adopting reasonable expectations about what truly matters, and accepting the variability of children's needs can alleviate pressure. Emily advocates balancing data with compassion and flexibility. Closing the conversation, Emily proposes a law mandating comprehensive fertility education at multiple life stages to equip people with accurate, practical knowledge about their bodies and reproduction. She highlights the societal gap where individuals receive abundant information on preventing pregnancy, but minimal guidance on conception and parenting. This education could help reduce shame and confusion, improve decision-making, and create a more informed approach to family planning. Emily envisions this as a foundational step toward healthier families and less anxiety-filled parenting.